All right, it's my turn to share. Pierson, alcoholic.
Pierson.
I'm gonna put a timer just in case. All right, so June 4th, 2020 is my sobriety date. So I did just celebrate 3 years, but I wasn't in recovery for 3 years. I think there's a lot more to it than just not drinking. In my 20s, I was about 21. I became a bartender, and it was definitely not the right environment for somebody like me, like us. I believe that is where my alcoholism blossomed. I bartended all through my 20s, and things spiraled downhill faster than I even had realized. Early 20s, got my first DUI. 25, got my second. For that one, I was facing a little bit of jail time and was given medication for withdrawals. Still didn't think I had a problem. Kept at it. Ruined a good relationship, dropped out of college, hurt people that didn't deserve to be hurt. Some of the few people that loved me and cared about me for no good reason. Hurt myself a lot. Was drinking daily, before work, during work, after work, days off, just all the time. And when I was 30, COVID happened. The bar I was working at closed down, and I went into a massive depression. That was, I had thought I had hit rock bottom before, but I think that was my real rock bottom. I ended up getting a third DUI and hospitalized for 14 days, and came out, and that's when the June 4th date, that's where that comes from. I was kind of scared myself into being a dry alcoholic, but I wasn't progressing or making any changes. I just had finally, for the first time, made it more than like a couple weeks or a couple months without drinking. And then about 9 months or so down the road, I was introduced by a relative to the program. I had done AAs before. I was familiar with them from, I have 3 DUIs, so I had experienced the program, but it was always just for a signature or for legal reasons. It wasn't because I was ready for it or I wanted any change. But I think I was in a place where I was absolutely in need of change and help in the program. I had a relative, we were on a family vacation to Mammoth, and she asked me if I want to listen in to a Zoom meeting. She said, you don't have to say nothing, just listen in. You can sit behind me. And I actually was thinking in my head I didn't really want to at first, but I was in vacay mode. And anyways, I sat in and something struck. I must have heard something that I desperately needed to hear, because I started to pay attention. I started doing that meeting every week. I started doing other meetings, and I started, then this began to let more meetings happen in person, so I started doing meetings in person. I found a sponsor from that meeting my aunt introduced me to. Began working the steps, and finally I think I began to be in recovery. For a long time I was just about self-sabotage myself, drinking, partying, and then I was in a weird place for a little while, but that's when I started to get motivated again. I started to have hope again. I started to think of the future. I was scared to go back into bartending. It's the only thing I had experience with for about a decade, and I knew that wasn't the right place for me. I was thinking maybe if I went to fine dining or something, it would be a little safer, but I knew that wasn't a good idea. So I tried out for Costco. I began to work the steps, and life just started to slowly unfold in a much better direction. I, for a long time, wasn't very religious or spiritual, but so many good things and so many coincidences were happening right before me. And I had a gentleman in a meeting tell me he could see the life being brought back into me, and things just slowly started to get a lot better for me. I worked my butt off. It's a union building. I got a full-time title. I'm now a full-time meat cutter, and I'm on the 9th step. I'm procrastinating my butt off on it, but I am getting through the steps. It's taken me a while, but doing them. And I have relationships with good civil relationships with all my family. A lot of my family I'm in a good place with, really close to. Some of my family members I never thought I'd be at a decent place with, but I am. I just celebrated 3 years. I have this program to thank for it. I think I was feeling alone for a long time, and it got me into a very deep and dark place, but because of this program, I know I'm not alone. I now have multiple groups and multiple meetings and dozens of phone numbers, and I speak to another alcoholic at least daily. I do 4 to 5 meetings a week. I know I got a lot of ways to go, but I'm making a lot of progress, and I'm really happy with what has become my life in sobriety. I never thought I would be in a place like this, and it's only 3 years sober, but 2 years in recovery. Having a retirement, having benefits, dental, all that stuff is something I never seen for myself, and I know it's only my reality because I am sober in this program. Because I have this program, I have structure, I have, like it was mentioned, the toolbox. When things aren't always great, and when they aren't so great or get bad, I know I have tools in my arsenal to use to get through it. I know I got this thing, like, I lost my train of thought.
Arsenal.
Yeah, so thank you guys all for letting me lead. I have been to this meeting before. It's been a while, but I do appreciate this opportunity. And
Right on. Right on, Pierson.